Good morning, sleepyhead. Wakey, wakey. It's time to ride. Today on Riding with Marshall, we are riding with Mary Melick and her awesome machine here. And look, there's Mary.
Hi!
Mary is a trainer for the Harley-Davidson Riding Academy, whom I fully support, because unlike other riding academies, they actually want people to pass and go get motorcycles, not just take their money. So Mary, light up your bike for us.
There's one. There's 3 different patterns.
Nice. Now Mary and her husband put lights on bikes, so if you're interested, look for Mary Melick. Are you still on Facebook?
Oh yeah.
Okay, I'm not, but
Look for,
I might be soon, I don't know.
Can You See Me Now Lighting and Detail Plus.
That was Can You See Me Now Lighting and Detail Plus. Oh, should I get in on this? Here, I'll get in on this.
Hi!
So today we're going to try to ride up Trail Ridge Road, which hopefully has a ton of snow still up there. It is June, but this is typical for Colorado. They just got snow and had to close it again last weekend. So they got the snow removed, and we're going to see what we can do about getting up there. And one more thing about Mary, she is an excellent rider. She's way better than myself, I'm quite certain. And she has been taking some extreme training on what, Mary?
Well, put it this way, you become what you surround yourself with. And a lot of my fellow enthusiasts are motor officers. So I surround myself with the best. And as an MSF coach, I also have the opportunity to go down to the Colorado State Patrol track and play with the State Patrol once in a while. So it's just something, it's just how good you want to be, that's who you need to surround yourself with. So controlling your motorcycle at slow speeds is the best way to learn how to control your motorcycle at high speeds. Anybody can go fast and straight. There's so much more to riding a motorcycle than just twisting the throttle. So advanced classes, we have them at Thunder Mountain. Come and see us.
So wait a minute, are you saying if I surround myself with the bar crowd and we go bar hopping, that might have different effects than surrounding yourself with State Patrol trained riders?
It could.
Oh, okay.
Very well could.
Just checking. So Trail Ridge Road is actually Highway 34 in Colorado, but it refers specifically to the part they can charge you for with the Rocky Mountain National Park admission, starting at $25 a vehicle unless you're a senior. Today's ride is taking us up through all the twisties to the Visitors Center and Cafe for lunch. We will be climbing from 5,000 feet to over 11,000 feet, and all on 2 wheels. Our first stop is at the Dam Store, the best store by a dam site. It's not open yet. When it is, it's a great place to get a t-shirt, a pocket knife, or some snacks. In this case, I'm just stopping to show you where we're going, which is into that canyon. We tried to get an early start because you want the road to yourself. And currently, it really is to ourselves. It's very pleasant. If you don't get an early start to take Trail Ridge Road, you're going to end up behind every RV, every trailer pulling some yard equipment, Every construction truck that's got his GPS monitoring his speed, and it won't be as pleasant as our trip currently is. However, we have another reason for starting early, another motivating factor. If I can wax into the pandemic speak for a minute, the pandemic seems to me like it gave anybody who wanted power a good chance to grab it. And one of the things Rocky Mountain National Park has done, or at least the Park Service in general, is use the opportunity to limit the number of people coming into the park. Well, that one seems to be winning because now we have some reservations you have to make over the phone before you can enter Rocky Mountain National Park. Unless you go before 9 a.m. or after 3 p.m. for Trail Ridge Road. Now, in the summertime, if you want to see the lakes, Bear Lake and all its hiking trails, or Sprague Lake, you end up having to take a bus. You have to park your car and take a bus to go in to see those areas. And so therefore they limit you that way, which is fine. I understand it's hard to get parking. But now you have to be at the ranger station before 5 a.m. if you intend to not make reservations first. So anyway, all that said, what we're trying to do, and in my best narration voice for a reality show, if Marshall and Mary don't make it to the ranger station by 9 a.m., they will be forced to cancel their trip and make a reservation by phone for another day. For right now, though, I'm just going to lean back against my backrest, stretch my legs out, and enjoy this ride. So Highway 34, going from Loveland to Estes Park, is known as the Big Thompson Canyon, and it winds next to and around the Big Thompson River. The river will go under the highway a couple of times, so right now you're seeing it on our right, eventually it'll be on our left, but that's what we're riding on. Now it looks like I'm way behind Mary, but that is the GoPro doing that. I'm actually right on her tail. And that is how I prefer people to ride with me. If you're behind me, I want you in my mirrors at all times. I don't want 5 or 6 car spaces between us. Now I know that's what exactly this looks like, but it is not the case. Now in canyon riding, what I like to do is I draw an imaginary line about 18 inches away from that white line, and I try to stick my wheels to it. And it's just a fun game I play, but it also keeps me in a lane. It's not important to ride in formation in a canyon. You should probably be single file anyway. But Mary kind of stuck to the left and I stuck to the right. And that suited us both just fine. Here we are heading into Estes Park. And you get that glorious view of Estes Park, which actually you would see a little better with normal eyes. The GoPro is zooming out, like I mentioned. Now, Mary hasn't been up here in some time, and so she asked me to lead, so that's why I just passed her. So both of our bikes have CBs. Yeah, you know, CBs, remember those? Breaker, good buddy. Is it teddy bear you got your ears on? Anyway, we have CBs. We're not using them a lot. We're only using them for occasional comments and directions. Both of us enjoy the zen of riding, and 90% of this trip was all about the zen. So as the traffic slows down in Estes Park, I'm starting to get a little bit worried, because if we don't make it by 9 a.m. to the ranger station, we'll just be turning around, having breakfast, and going home, which would be a real letdown because Mary said she hasn't been up there in years.
I hope
hope we make it. We have 8 minutes.
What?
I said I hope we make it. We have 8 minutes before they start reservations. So this is Estes Park. Take a good quick look, because I'm not stopping. It's a great place to visit. I come up here several dozen times a year. We do some of our Christmas shopping up here. Come up here just for supper sometimes. Beautiful place to visit, no matter how many times we've stayed up here. Come on. And then he wanted that lane anyway. Fortunately for us, everybody turned left to go up Highway 36 and Highway 7. Peak to Peak Highway, I don't know. Go to Lyons, maybe that's where they're all headed. But the path to the park looks like it's clear. I have to collect myself and just say, Marshall, it's a beautiful day. We're having a great ride. Keep your chin up. We can still make this happen. Free and clear. We might just make it. I've never been a fan of reality shows. I can see the format immediately. This is not one of those. We are seriously trying to get there by 9 a.m. and my clock says 9:01. That sign on the left right there, it said all reservations were filled, come back after 3. And there's 2 cars in front of us. This can only go 2 ways. Time to rest on my faith that life has always favored me. Did we make it? Thank you. Out of the goodness of her heart, the ranger led us through, and not 5 minutes down the road, we saw 2 moose and a coyote together. And this ex-pro photographer didn't bring a zoom camera. I tend to be in a mode of either video or still shots, but seldom both, and I didn't bring a zoom camera, so this is as good as I could get with my phone. After leaving that field with the moose, we began climbing immediately, and this road just goes up and up. There's very few guardrails, so don't turn right here. I really wouldn't recommend it. We stopped at a pull-off to take in the view, and the view included this little guy. At this point in the journey, we're probably at about 9,000 to 10,000 feet. I'm not really sure. But I had already asked Mary over the CB if she had trouble with altitude sickness. Now, altitude sickness could be nausea, it could be headaches, it certainly is shortness of breath, and it may even result in an inability to move properly. I mean, just, taking 3 steps might be a problem. Usually, in my experience, people get a headache first, but you can also get dizzy and lose your equilibrium. Now, look at that right-hand turn right there. You don't want to not be in control of your balance when it comes to riding a motorcycle on a road like this. I mean, like right there, for example. Lose your balance right there, go off to the right-hand side. Yeah, that could be bad. Fortunately, neither one of us have any of those symptoms, and so we plug on. And by plug on, I mean we are having the time of our life being at the top of the world on our motorcycles. It's 2 thrills in one. It's also a perfect day and a perfect temperature to be doing this.
Here comes some cars.
We stopped at a pullout to grab a few photos. This is the part of the show where I'm just going to shut up and let you enjoy a bit of the ride. Mary said that being up here reminded her of a George Strait song, I Saw God Today. Now, I wish I could put that in the video, but copyright laws being what they are. But anyway, her point was that this is a religious experience being in a place like this on such a beautiful day. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that Mary just might have been enjoying this as much as I was. At this point, I'm looking for a spot that we can pull over and get photos with this tall snow behind us. It's a tradition of mine. I do it every year, and I skipped last year due to the pandemic and all its new rules and regulations. I think we've got a spot coming up. I'm standing up through here to get a better view with my chin cam, as well as just to feel the air. The good and bad thing about a Goldwing is that they block a lot of air from you, and sometimes you really want to feel that air. The new Goldwings don't block as much air, which also means they're not as warm in wintertime as mine. Now, if you're coming up here on a carbureted motorcycle, you might want to make sure you get it checked out first and that it can handle this altitude, or you might suffer stalls or even the inability to get it started again. But fuel-injected machines of any kind have no trouble up here at all. There's our spot up there, right there. I was getting worried that there wasn't going to be a spot like this. Sadly, it's already been hit, but... One quick photo shoot later, we're on our way to the visitor center for lunch, and I'm getting kind of hungry. I'm hoping they have the cafe fully open. This is just the first full open weekend, though. I believe it's this point right here that puts us above 12,000 feet. And now we're heading down. So we made it to the visitor center, the restrooms, the cafe and gift shop. We shared a sandwich, got refreshed, and hit the road again. But I also want to make note that there are no tour buses here yet. Give it a week. We got here on the perfect day. So Mary and I have made it to the top of Trail Ridge Road. We had a nice lunch, and we haven't quite gone down yet. In fact, it's very difficult to want to leave this spot. We're currently at 11,400 feet or so. The mountains behind us are glorious. But as I tend to do on my show, we need Mary to do a walk around with her bike and tell you what she's got. Here we go. Mary, tell us, what is this?
All right, so this is a 2018 Harley-Davidson 115th anniversary edition. They only made 3,400 of this particular model. My number is 701. It has the 107 Milwaukee 8 on it. They have the cooled heads, so there's a radiator and a coolant up in the front fairings. You got the GPS, the infotainment center, all kinds of goodies that come with it.
Custom pipes?
That I have added on the mufflers. Those are RC mufflers, just to give it a little bit different sound. And then this one, I bought it. It had the 14-inch apes added to it already. I like them. I'm getting used to them. However, I know in the back of my mind they're not ergonomically correct. But it's a few pennies to change that out for sure. We talked a little bit about the auxiliary hazards that we showed you earlier. I've also added underglow lighting to this. You can't really see it during the day, but there's underglow lighting. You can change the color. We can flash, strobe. There's all kinds of different settings on it. Same color, fading in and out. And then I ride with what we call a smooth, which kind of rotates through all the different colors. My husband and I install those on motorcycles with our Can You See Me Now lighting and detail business. But that's about it. This is Saphira. She is named after the blue dragon in the movie Aragon. Dragons and wolves are my totems, so to speak. And I felt I needed some more protection after an incident a couple of years ago. So I named this bike after a dragon. And that's why there are dragons all over it now. So this is my dragon. This is Saphira. And her and I are one. We're embarking on a few excursions and adventures, and I'm loving every minute of it.
Including riding with Marshall?
Including riding with Marshall, absolutely. Been dying to do that for quite a while.
If you can handle the altitude, you've got to ride Trail Ridge Road, and preferably the first full open weekend. But remember to keep your chin up in the curves of the road and in the curves of life.